Well, our top story, the Indian diplomat's arrest in the US that has sparked a massive furor. The Indian embassy in the US has now given out details of how they had taken up the matter of Devyani Khobragade's domestic assistant back in June 2013 with the US State Department and the US Embassy in New Delhi. But they got no response. The Indian embassy, in fact, received the State Department's letter on September 4th last year, which requested the embassy to inquire into the allegations made by the domestic help, Sangeeta Richards, disputing her terms of employment. In response, the Indian side, both in New Delhi and Washington, D.C., reiterated the request pending with the US side with regard to Richards, who went missing from the diplomat's house in June 2013. The Indian embassy requested the State Department to assist in locating and repatriating the help to India, but no response was received from the US side for any of these communications. Our Strategic Affairs editor Gaurav Sawant is joining us right now from the newsroom. Gaurav, just put this into perspective, the fresh details that have been put out by the Indian embassy in connection with the requests that were made to its US counterpart.
US Under-Secretary of State for South Asia, Nisha Desai Biswal, made a statement yesterday claiming United States had alerted India in the month of September itself, and India did not respond. And India says this is not true. The American side, sources say, are giving out a series of half-truths and absolute lies in this case. India was regularly in touch not just with the State Department but also with the American embassy in New Delhi. Indian embassy and sources in government of India have given date-by-date details of how the moment the domestic help, Sangeeta Richards, went missing, they informed the New York police. The New York police refused to register an FIR when the Deputy Consul General herself went to register a case. That was step one. Step two, when the matter came in a court of law in India and a stay order was issued, India informed both the State Department and the US Embassy in New Delhi. Then when a lawyer contacted Devyani Khobragade seeking to have an out-of-court settlement, Government of India and Devyani Khobragade herself informed both the State Department and relevant US authorities in New York, saying that there is an attempt to defraud and both the US state and government of India by some lawyers and some vested interests, and this should not be permitted. The United States kept quiet about it. So they were in touch in June, they were in touch in July, in September, in October, when there was a high court order, when there was a metropolitan magistrate's arrest warrant. In December, both embassy of the United States in New Delhi and the State Department were informed. The US kept quiet about this, and that is what India wants to know. Why did the United States not cooperate with India at one level? And two, Foreign Secretary Sujata Singh was in the United States. She was meeting State Department officials. That meeting was described as highly successful when Secretary of State John Kerry dropped in on that meeting.
Right.
And yet, United States did not inform India that they were going to arrest Devyani Khobragade or they were proceeding against Devyani Khobragade. And this is not how strategic partners behave with each other. This is what sources in Government of India are telling us.